Hey everybody, Phil here again from Japan. Well, another day and another change here in Japan. We've always kind of escaped, it seemed, the changing or the escalation of coronavirus. If you've been watching this, I said, we didn't have so many cases, and I also said that was because we weren't testing so much. Well, as I said before, since the end of the hope of the Olympics, they've been testing faster and more, and of course that means we've been seeing more cases. Just today, I think there's up 70. I think we're up 70 today, just today alone. And considering that a couple of days ago we only had 1,300, and now we're up to 2,183, at least on this site that I'm looking at, that's a pretty significant increase. Most of those being in Tokyo. It seems that, unsurprisingly, the place where the most people are, one of the most people on Earth places, and the crowding and the trains and the lack of social distancing, or whatever you want to call it, and that being practiced, people going out to see the cherry blossoms, as I showed in another video, all of that is coming back to bite Japan in the coronavirus. And now they're taking it a little bit seriously. There's a bit of panic going on in Tokyo. Seems to be some panic buying going on. And, well, it's changing rapidly. I think the Japanese are a bit shocked. How can I put this? Japan is a country that really believes believes in the media. The media is quite controlled here, and the media was always saying, Japan dodged a bullet and all the rest of that stuff, and they really downplayed the coronavirus. And now it seems that maybe Japan hasn't dodged the bullet so much. I mean, to be honest, it's considering how many weeks in we are, and really, it's kind of outside of China. One of the places that it really started was here, especially with the cruise line, the Princess Cruise Line. We're only up to 2183. In my area, I live up in the north of Japan in an area called Tohoku, famous for earthquakes and tsunamis. Up until yesterday, we only had one case here, and that person actually was on the cruise ship. Now we have another case. How that person came to be probably also was down in Tokyo or something like that. So we're seeing a slow spread, I think. And they are testing. They tested 1,650 people today. So that's a step in the right direction. Unfortunately, we've seen a couple more deaths today. So things are changing in Japan. And maybe a lot of you around the world who watch my channel don't really care about Japan. You're suffering your own problems, but I just wanted to put my voice out there and say, this is happening here too. It would be great, and I think there are other people from other places in the world doing little vlogs like these, because I think we need to see what's happening, and hear what's happening around the world. I'm not totally panicked yet. I still believe that a lot of the customs here in Japan will save them from some of the worst, and the isolation, both as a country, and Japan now has stopped all flights from Europe, as a supposedly mandatory quarantine, 2-week quarantine for anybody coming in from America, though it also was reported today that 92 people got off the plane from Chicago and were not told to self-isolate. And so it's not being applied very well, or not being informed very well. You have the usual kind of nut cases. There's a story here about a guy running around a drugstore down in Nagoya, which is in the center of Japan, screaming, "I have the coronavirus." So yeah, it's going a little bit crazy, Japanese style. But hopefully it will contain itself. They've announced that this weekend in Tokyo they want a kind of a shutdown of Tokyo. No bars, Incredibly, the karaoke boxes are closed. So maybe they will be able to get this back on track. There's a lot of talk here, a lot of worry here about overshoot, which is kind of that linear, rapid explosion of cases. But hopefully that doesn't happen. Things up where I am still are pretty normal. Yesterday I went and signed up at a new gym, for instance, and I went to the doctor today, and my doctor actually, I have this great doctor here, and he really, for some reason, wants to talk about Japanese culture with me, or the difference between the West and Japan. And his thing was, he was quite worried, I think, as a doctor, but he said he was happy he wasn't practicing down in Tokyo. But maybe, he wanted to know what I thought, why things were different here. And I talked again about this difference, no handshaking, very little close contact. But that being said, it's spreading. So hopefully we will not see an incredible explosion over the weekend of cases. But the thing to remember, of course, is that anybody who's diagnosed now probably got it any time in the last 2 weeks. So we're always behind. Anyway, I hope things are better where you are, though by the looks of things, you're going to have to be someplace pretty special for it to be any better right now. That's about it from me. Just a quick little update about life from Japan. I'm going to fly in some video from the doctor's office and other places, though it just shows kind of life as normal. We're not panic buying up here. So if you're down in Tokyo, there's no need to panic. We'll see you soon.